Today we determine, does WotC endorse eating cardboard?
Up, down, left, right. I probably win.
Welcome to MTGU Unraveled, where we each choose a magic card and over-explain it to distract you from your current hyperfixation. I'm Rafa.
And I'm Ryan. And today we are talking about cards with cycling. You know, the thing that's on cards that you sometimes forget about. I do a lot, so I hope you guys do too. But we each pick a card that has that specific mechanic on it, and hopefully it does something else. Otherwise, this will be a really boring episode. Let's go ahead and start with your card.
Okay, mine's a real banger this week. It's 4 green, creature, tree folk. It's a common, and it was first printed in Modern Horizons 2, and its power and toughness is 6/4.
There were tree folk before the Lord of the Rings set?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know what it is. Give me a text box.
Okay, text box. When this creature enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens.
Okay. I kind of assume that's what it did based on your teaser.
It's also got basic land cycling for 1 and a green. So you can go get any basic land out of your deck.
Oh. Nope. Okay.
No. This card today is Orchard Strider.
I think I've heard that name before.
Yeah.
I probably remember it from scrolling through cycling cards.
It's in that deck right down there.
I probably remember it because I have played those decks.
It's in the one you like to play.
Frodo and Sam?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Lots of food stuff.
Mm-hmm. The only case I could come up with justifying putting this in a deck, other than like a themed deck like it's Tree Folk and it's Lord of the Rings, is maybe Pauper EDH with a food theme. This could create foods, have a big body, and if nothing else, you get to fix your colors in Pauper, because you can go get any basic land. So let's go on to the rules. Unlike the normal cycling ability, type cycling doesn't allow you to draw a card. Rather, it lets you search your library for a card with the type or types indicated by the ability name. For example, a card with basic land cycling lets you search for a basic land card, and a card with wizard cycling lets you search for a wizard card.
There's wizard cycling?
There's sliver cycling.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Just cycle anything. It's a cycle of life.
Everything's on a... Oh, we went 2 different routes with that. I was going to say everything's on a bicycle.
I know it's circle. Leave me alone.
Next. Type cycling is a form of cycling. Any ability that triggers on a card being cycled also triggers on a card being type cycled. Any ability that stops a cycling ability from being activated also stops a type cycling ability from being activated.
Cycling is cycling is cycling?
Yep, pretty much. If you can't cycle, you can't basic land cycle either. Next one's about food. Food is an artifact type. Even though it appears on some creatures, it's never a creature type. Yeah, that's literally just in there because it makes foods. Pretty straightforward. We've probably said that before, but I don't know. Next one's about foods too. You can't sacrifice a food to pay multiple costs. For example, you can't sacrifice a food token to activate its own ability and also to activate Merrileaf Rider's ability.
Once you eat it, it's gone. There's no spitting it up. We're not baby birding it here. Okay?
Speaking of eating it, the next rule says, whatever you do, don't eat the delicious cards.
I think that's in the rules text for something else too. Like, I think we've come across that before.
No way, because I would have put it in this show.
I'm going to figure it out and we will notate.
It's on every card that makes a food.
Yes.
I have no idea. It's on this one. I came across this and was like, well, I found my card. I'm doing this because that's awesome. Unnecessary rules text, my favorite. So the question to the teaser is, no, WotC does not endorse eating the foods, but I do.
You can use anything as a token.
There's 2 reprints, but we'll start with the original art. Is by Raul Vitali, and this tree folk looks angry. He's like climbing up a hill, it looks like, and he's on a mission.
See? It belongs in Lord of the Rings. He's angry at Saruman.
Well, the next one, the Lord of the Rings one, was done by John Tedrick, and it definitely looks ferocious, I would say, and probably angry too. I don't know. There's like a battle going on in the background. This is legal and the usual. Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Commander, and Oathbreaker. And how much do you think this card costs?
20 cents.
Yeah, I put it down a quarter because anything less than that doesn't really sell for less than that. So unless you're buying it in person. All right. I'm never going to look at this card the same now. If I see it, when we play it, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to eat your token.
Lick it.
Like, I'm going to take a full-on bite out of it.
Okay, don't hand you my tokens. You have your own. Got it.
Just get the metal ones. Ow. So what do you think of this card?
It's pretty basic. It's
Basic land cycling.
It's a really big mana cost for doing what it does. So the card itself is kind of garbage. But I like that it has basic land cycling because the other land cyclings obviously have a place. If you're in a monocolored deck, those are great. But basic land cycling, this means that it kind of opens the door for what kind of deck this card could go in. Obviously lower bracket or extremely themed.
Yeah, I thought about putting in my Samwise Gamgee because it's a kind of a budget brew, but it's not legendary, so I can't get it back with Sam. So I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
If it were legendary, I'd probably throw it in there just for it being funny. All right, let's move on to your card.
Okay. Mine is 1 and a blue. Creature. Not telling you the type. It's a common, but there's one printing where it's an uncommon. Like it was common, then it went to uncommon, then it went back to common.
Really?
Yeah, really weird. The first release of the card was Urza's Legacy, and it's a 1/1.
And it has an ability when it enters.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to play this card.
I play this card.
Let me say it. When this creature enters, untap 2 lands.
And?
I don't know how it cycles. Who cycles? 2 cycle this card? I don't know.
But it has an ability.
Yeah, it does. I remember that. Oh, it's flying. Flying! See, this is why I don't guess.
Yes. Flying, when this comes into play, untap up to 2 lands. And then cycling 2, which is you may pay 2 generic and discard this card from your hand to draw a card. Play this ability as an instant. My card is Cloud of Faeries.
You have to say it like that when you cast it.
Every time from now on.
Every time. Also, who cycles this card?
The cycling, I think, could have its place. So the biggest thing about this card is it is a combo piece. A lot of players play it as a combo piece because of the untappy lands thing. So if you are in the right deck, so like I could see if I had Cloud of Faeries in my hand early game in Atris, which is the deck that I have it in, it's a Blink Reanimator. I might choose to cycle it because I pull things out of my graveyard all the time. And if I'm not ready to combo with it, I'm not just going to play it to have it sit there and be a target for exile. I'll just cycle it and dump it in my graveyard. Have I ever done that? Nah. It has a singular rules text, and it is you choose which lands to untap as the triggered ability resolves. They aren't targeted, and they don't have to be lands that you control.
I mean, I guess there's a case where, like, you're playing the Blink deck, right? And someone's like, if I had 1 more mana, I could take care of this problem and the game wouldn't end. I would untap somebody's land if they were, if they could stop my opponent from winning. Yeah.
Exactly.
So there is niche cases where that's relevant too. Wow, the blue cards just showing off how blue they are. They do a billion different case scenarios.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's a spot for it. Not usually what it's used for. There are 4 total printings of the card. 2 different arts. The first one, Melissa Benson. Ma'am, do you know what a fairy is?
Is it the one that I'm thinking of? Like, it's the one that's pretty common on...
I don't think it's the one that you're thinking of. You're probably thinking of the one that we've seen more, which is the second one by Iris Compete. That one got released first with March of Machines. It's literally like fairies flying through like a forested type area. They've got some waterfalls. And then if you look up in the top corner of it, you can see the Phyrexian invasion tree coming down.
That's not the one I was thinking of.
Oh,
no,
okay.
Because I played this card before March of the Machines.
Okay. Well, again, we'll go back and say, I don't think this lady knows what a fairy is because the first art is some naked yellow ladies that don't have wings, but they're still in the air.
They fly with magic.
It's not a fairy. And why are they naked?
They can't be, like, actually naked on the card, right? I mean, like...
It's got, like, the front fairy has a dagger in front of where her top part would be, and then the other ones have, like, their hair wrapped around in just the right way. There's no clothes on these things. I don't know.
I've never looked that closely at the art.
I never have either, but the longer I looked at it, I was like, what's going on? The art is nice, it just isn't a fairy. Sorry. What formats use this card? The Huge, Legacy Vintage, Commander Oathbreaker. It is banned in Pauper.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It's too good. No, it's because it was printed once as an uncommon. That's
not how that
Pauper.
works.
I know.
What do you think the price of the card is?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess $2.
No.
No.
I was going to say less than $1, but one of the copies is $1.01.
It's $1.
Yeah. Most of them are less than that, like around the 50-cent range. EDH rec stats. It has a 2.13 inclusion rate, 106,000 out of 4.59 million decks that it could be in. So not too shabby. People like to play it.
Yeah.
I looked up to see what the top 3 commanders for the card were. I don't know these CEDH decks very well, but I would guess that it's like this because of CEDH play, maybe?
Yeah, maybe Gaia's, or do they all have green in it? Gaia's Cradle, like it just ups your creature count and untaps Gaia's Cradle.
Yeah. So the number 1 is Rograk, son of Rogar, and Thrasios, Triton hero.
Who says his full name?
I don't know, just in case people didn't know. It has an 80% inclusion rate.
Yeah, it's got to be because it untaps Cradle. You could probably do some loops with Emil too. Does that have white in it? No, that doesn't. Never mind.
No, that one doesn't. The third inclusion rate for commanders is Yoshimaru and Thras. That has white. I'm sure it does do Emil loops.
Yeah.
And then the second most popular commander for it is Obreya, Dreaming Duelist, Fairy theme. And that has a 79% inclusion rate. So combos, the first one is with Deadeye Navigator.
Yep.
So Deadeye Navigator, if you don't know, is 4 blue creature spirit. It has Soulbound, which means you may pair this creature with another unpaired creature when either enters. They remain paired for as long as you control both of them. And then as long as Deadeye Navigator is paired with another creature, each of those creatures have 1 blue, exile this creature, then return it to the battlefield under your control. It gives you infinite ETB, LTB. You can just bounce this up and down as much as you want. As long as you just tap and untap 2 lands, you pay for the cost. If you have a land that taps for more than 1 mana, like one of the bounce lands, or, I mean, you could do it with like Ancient Tomb that gives you infinite colorless mana. But if
It'll kill you.
That was just the first one I thought of.
Yeah.
But if you have a bounce land that taps for 2, then you will get infinite mana. The other one is Hullbreaker Horror and Peregrine Drake. And with Hullbreaker, when you cast one, you bounce the other one to your hand. When it enters, you untap lands, and then you swap it, cast the other one.
It also then works with the 7 mana ones. There's 2 7 mana ones that untap 7 lands.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I don't run those.
I don't remember their names.
Not a clue. The last thing that I had, going back to the whole what is a fairy thing, the subtype Oof is preferred over fairy when the creatures aren't little humanoids with wings. It took a while before this distinction became clear, so I'm going to give Melissa a pass. She didn't.
Yeah, who knows what her instructions were for the art that they wanted? I mean.
Yeah, I don't know how art commissions with WotC work. I don't know if you just submit something and go from, I don't know. I have no idea how it works, but I guess I will give her a pass, but I'm forever going to remember that there is Cloud of Faeries without fairies. What is your opinion on Cloud of Faeries?
It's a really good card. It's a really fun card. If you had asked me before we started this episode, does Cloud of Faeries have anything other than its broken ability? I would have been like, maybe I'd remember it flies eventually, but but I would never have remembered that it had cycling. Which I'm sure there are people who like maybe they played when this card was printed for the first time and it was like good and standard, or they played Pauper before it was banned if there was a time and they remember it has cycling. But me, nope, never cycled this thing. Forgot it had cycling. Yeah, but it is a fun card. Blink's fun.
Honorable mentions. Do you have anything?
Yes, I have just one. Also, I didn't realize how many cycling cards there were. Just wanted to point that out.
Like, 400 and something.
Holy cow.
Some of them are really, really bad lands, so they only count so much.
But there's still a lot of cards with cycling. I only have one, and it's a Shark Typhoon, and I just love Shark Typhoon cycles. It can make a shark while you cycle it for XX, if I remember right. It's like X or XX, 1 blue, cycle this card, make an XX shark with power and toughness, with flying. But if you play it as a card, it's a 6 mana enchantment that whenever you cast a non-creature spell, I think it's non-creature, I don't remember, you make an XX shark equal to the mana value that flies. And I just think it's funny to kill people with flying sharks in Zedru's a meme deck. So it's one of my win cons.
I didn't even think about that for our episode about cards that get cut because I had that in Octavia and I took it out because casting it was just too much most of the time. Like by the time I can cast that, I want to be doing other things. But I love the idea of that card. I want to play it so bad. It was so hard to cut. And I did not remember that has cycling. I like that has a benefit to cycling it, though. I came across a few different cards that have stuff like that, and I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I played Standard on Arena when Shark Typhoon came out, and being able to make a flying instant speed creature is not nothing. Or a flying creature at instant speed.
Yeah.
Is not nothing in 1v1, especially. Like, in Commander, if you pay 6 mana and make a 4/4 flyer, you're like, at instant speed, you're like, cool story. I mean, if you kill something that's flying and coming at you, that's like a value piece for someone else, then that's worth it. But otherwise, you're just like, cool, you have a 4/4 flyer. Good job. That's my only honorable mention.
Well, there were a couple that I came across that I was like, again, oh, this is cycling. One is the Triomes. Like, I came across Jetmir's Garden. I was like, that has cycling on it. That could be really useful, and I thought that was pretty cool, but I wasn't going to talk about a Triome.
No, and the 3 is...
3 is a lot, but if you are later in the game and you are like, oh my goodness, stop giving me lands. I certainly don't want to play a tap land. I already have 15 lands out. I mean, a Triome goes in the deck anyway. Another one that I run is the one that I run in my mono white deck is Cast Out. 3 and a white enchantment, I believe. When it enters, you can exile to target artifact. My mono white deck is Elish Norn, Mother of Machines, so I actually get to exile 2 things or more. Didn't know that had cycling either.
Isn't it just like 1 white or 1 and a white? I don't remember.
I think it's just a white. So at the end of every episode, before we say goodbye, we like to talk about something that we have been hyper-fixated on inside the world of Magic or outside of it. You have something to talk to us about today?
Yes, every now and then I'm scrolling through Reddit, just ignoring my problems, and I'll come...
Every now and then.
Daily. And I come across a post about the Mandela effect, and it comes up every now and then, and I think it sticks because I sit there and get irrationally angry at the people who believe in this. So I just wanted to rant about it for a minute. I know you've heard all this before, but too bad this is our platform and I get to talk about it. So let me at least enlighten you if you don't know what the Mandela effect is. The Mandela effect is when a large group of people have a memory of something that there is no proof of, typically. I'll get to that. It was named in 2009 by paranormal researcher Fiona Broomy. I don't know. There's an E at the end. She found that thousands of people, including herself, remembered Nelson Mandela dying in prison in the 1980s, and he didn't. It bothers me so much because people don't have a good grasp on just how malleable memory is, which is why I'm like, it's just false memories, and y'all are remembering similarly because you're influenced by other things that you see. I kind of feel like it's arrogant to think that it had to have been that way because that's how your brain remembers it. Even if it's a lot of other people.
Yeah, it's a lot of other people that also remember that thing. So it's not arrogant because it's not, I know this, I'm right. It's, look, this is what I remember, and look at these tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of other people that also remember this thing. Fruit of the Loom had a freaking cornucopia.
That one, actually, I will get to. It's a special case.
I know. I saw that somebody found... Okay.
So what about the Monopoly Man? Did he have monocle? Moniker.
Like, that seems familiar to me, but I know that that's not true.
And all these people who remember it, it's because a whole bunch of other things that are supposed to look rich or, fancy have things with monocles on them. That's it. That's the only reason.
I just attributed it to the peanut guy.
Yeah.
Because he wears a top hat. Yeah.
Yes.
And has a monocle.
Seriously. It's stuff like that. It's common. Yeah. Anyway, Jiffy, that one gets to me. There is no Jiffy. It's Jif and Skippy, and you just mashed them together in your head. I don't care how many people think there's a Jiffy. That one's the most obvious one. Okay.
And
Anyway,
that's
see?
probably because people out there called it that because you remember hearing it. Now your brain is making you think it had to have been on the jar.
Had to have been. Yeah.
Had to.
So the Fruit of the Loom one that you were talking
Yeah.
about, here's the problem with that one. Some people remember a cornucopia behind it. Some people don't, right? Everyone tells the people who had the cornucopia in their memory that they're crazy. And they're not. It has now been proven that it was a regional design change. So companies will take a product or a design and they'll change it and test it in regions of their market and see how it performs. And they might make that change to the entire product line across everywhere they sell, or they might discontinue it because it didn't prove worth it. That's what this one was. So some people genuinely had a cornucopia behind their Fruit of the Loom and some people didn't. But it used to be a Mandela effect until that was proven. And did the company come out and say, oh yeah, we used to put a cornucopia in
No,
some
they came
areas?
out and said, no, we never ever
Yes.
had one. Official statements, never. And then it was like, why? Why are
Why?
they saying that?
It's obvious why. Capitalism, baby. Why would you tell some people that, yeah, you're right. End of discussion. End of discussion means no talking about me, my company, for free.
True.
Yeah. More people talk about Fruit of the Loom if they're debating over whether or not there was a cornucopia. But if it didn't make money, they would have just came out and been like, yeah, we did that. Whatever. Okay, so after my rant, I'd like to end on a lighter note. So I'm going to quiz you on the spot about some Mandela effects.
Lovely.
I only put a few down, okay? It's fine. In Snow White, does she say mirror, mirror on the wall or magic mirror on the wall?
It's Magic Mirror.
Yeah. A lot of people remember Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, which is a Randall King song, and it's great. Go listen to it.
I watched way too much Disney to not know that.
Yeah, no, I assumed I started off easy. Okay. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm trying to end on something a little more fun. That's not my goal here.
Last episode, you laughed at me for not knowing the card, even though I run it.
Okay, but that was funny. You should.
Next.
Okay. Is fruit in Fruit Loops spelled F-R-O-O-T or F-R-U-I-T?
Oh.
See, these are easy. What's the problem?
I'm waiting for you to tell me I'm wrong on one of them.
You're going to go 4 for 4, okay? There's only 2 more. Does Kit Kat have a hyphen between the words?
No. Yes. But it's little. The K's are like basically next to each other. No?
No.
Oh, dang, I was right.
Yeah, you should have just stuck to your... You should have just... Nope, move on.
Cut that. Go back.
All right. And in The Wizard of Oz, what does the witch yell when sending her monkeys after Dorothy? Do you remember?
And your little dog, too.
No, see, that's a different quote, and people confuse them because it's what people remember that's wrong is fly, my pretties, fly. But they're confusing it with another part of the movie. It's fly, fly, fly. That's all she says in that part.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you a bonus one. I told you there were 4, but I'm giving you a bonus one.
Yay!
Does Ricky Ricardo from I Love Lucy have a famous catchphrase?
Yes. I haven't watched that in so long. I have I Love Lucy.
Lucy.
I'm home.
Okay, does he have any other ones? You're good then, if that's all you remember. I'll let you off with a pass.
And he does like,
A lot of people
but-
remember him saying this specifically, and he never says this in any episode. Lucy, you've got some splaining to do.
Oh, yeah.
He never says that. So he does use splain to say explain, but he says, splain to me, and then says something. He never says that phrase. I couldn't find the origin of this one, but I would assume maybe it was used in like SNL or something else, and it just caught on.
Well,
but
they also, there was
said.
like a movie, there was, I mean, they're real life people.
Yeah. So he might have said it outside of the show too.
Yeah. He could have
Yeah.
said it on some like late night TV show
Yep.
or something like that just then got transplanted. This is I Love Lucy because it's those two. Who knows?
Yeah. So point being, a lot of people specifically remember him as a catchphrase for him. it was not in the show.
I watched that
yeah.
entire show so many times. You didn't even bring up the Berenstain Bears
everyone
one.
knows that one. If they're which way is it spelled?
It's Berenstain.
I don't remember. Which is that the right one or the Mandela Effect?
That's
one?
the Mandela Effect one.
Oh, yeah. Well, those books suck. So I.
Okay. Well, with that, we have come to the end of our episode. You can find us on TikTok for other Magic content and nerdy shenanigans.
And if you'd like to share any of the quirks that Magic has hidden in their cards, join the Discord in the description. If you have questions or suggestions for the show, please leave a comment or send us an email.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you have anything in particular that you liked about the cards that we talked about, if you have a favorite cycling card because you are just a cycle fanatic and you're like, this is the best thing that's ever been done in Magic, let us know in the comments below. We'd like to hear from you.
If you clicked on this thinking we were talking about bicycles, too bad. Now you've wasted 20-something minutes.
Or
Thank
if you thought
everyone.
you were getting a cheat code for a video game.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your week.
Click all the buttons.
Do all the things.
I'm gonna go play Kingdom Hearts. Bye!